Let's begin. Today is May 23rd, 2024, and we're doing the Daily Turing Machine Puzzle. Today's puzzle uses 5 criteria cards and it's 5 verification cards. Let's go to turingmachine.info for the details. So the 5 criteria cards that we are using in today's puzzle are 4, 7, 12, 15, and 19, and we're using the green verification cards. Above you'll see the unique identifier for today's puzzle in case you ever want to go onto turingmachine.info and get more details. Let's go solve. Alright, in our grid above we've got our 5 criteria cards. In the top row we've got criteria card A, criteria card B, and criteria card C. On the bottom row we've got criteria card D and finally criteria card E. So criteria card A looks at the middle digit, the square digit, and will compare that value to 4. So should that middle digit be less than 4? Should it be equal to 4? Or should it be greater than 4? Criteria card B looks at the third digit, the circle digit, and will let us know whether that value is an even or an odd. Criteria card C will compare the first and last digit, the triangle and the circles, and basically it will let us know whether triangle should be less than circle, perhaps they'll be equal to each other, or triangle is greater than circle. Criteria card D will let us know which is the absolute largest of the 3 digits. Should triangle be the largest? Should square be the largest? Or should circle be the largest? And finally, criteria card E looks at the first 2 digits, triangle and square, takes the sum of it and compares that to 6. So should the sum be less than 6? Should it be equal to 6? Or should it be greater than 6? I don't believe I've ever seen a layout of criteria cards that is so colorful. There's often 1 or 2 cards where, if you remember the even and odd count, it's just text or the number of 4s. So I think this may be the first time we've seen every card have a little bit of color, something for each digit. So remember, our objective is to get a 3-digit solution, unique solution that'll meet every criteria card that we've just described. And we're going to start off with our proposal of 314. So first I'm going to test criteria card B and figure out whether that last digit is an even or odd. Okay, so the Turing machine does not approve of my value for the circle. So if you look at my 3-digit proposal again, 314, I have an even digit 4 in for circle. The Turing machine does not approve of that, so basically it's telling me no, that last digit should not be even. In fact, it should be odd. So that's what I'm going to put down in my notes in section B, that circle is an odd digit. And so I'm going to go up here and I'm going to cross out all of my even values. So 2 is invalid as well as 4. Okay, so next we do see that we have a comparison between triangle and circle. I think I will query criteria card C. Okay, so the Turing machine disapproves. Again, if we go back to my proposal of 314, notice that my triangle is less than the circle. So the Turing machine is basically saying, no, that's not accurate. So alternatively, it must be that they're either equal to each other or triangle is greater than circle. So that's what I'm going to put for my notes in section C. That triangle is greater or equal to circle. So what does that mean? Can we eliminate any possibilities? Well, if triangle is to be greater than circle, it seems to reason that triangle cannot be 1. Because if triangle were 1, there's nothing smaller than 1. So I'm going to eliminate my 1. And I believe, let's see, can I eliminate? Yeah, I believe I can eliminate 5 for circle. Yeah, because there's nothing bigger than 5. So let me just think about that really quick. Yeah, triangle can't be 1 because there's nothing smaller than that. And if circle were 5, there's nothing bigger for triangle to be. Yep. Okay, so that looks good. Let's see, what else? We do have, so if you look at my square, it's a 1. There are obviously a lot more values that are less than 4. So it may be a good choice to pick. Yeah, let's do A. Okay, so it also disapproves of that. So as I was trying to explain earlier, now at least I know that it's either going to be 4 or 5 because, as I said, there are a lot of values for square that are less than 4. Obviously, they're disqualified. So let me actually cross out 1, 2, and 3. And so for A, I'm going to say that square is either 4 or 5. To 4 or 5. Okay, so we've eliminated quite a bit of values, but I still, we need to now consider how to construct our second proposal to get us kind of closer. So we did not test which is the absolute largest. There's no mention of pairs, so I would almost imagine I don't know if square is a guarantee to be the largest per se, but it's looking pretty good. But so is triangle. So let's take a look. So here's kind of an interesting thought. It would be hard to believe that circle could be the largest because obviously square is 4 or 5. So that means it's between triangle and square for the largest. And let's see, we also we didn't test the sum of the first 2 digits. At this point, I think it's safe to say that it's going to be either 6 or larger than 6 because the smallest square is 4 and the smallest triangle is 2, so that's 6. And that said, let's see, we still don't quite know. Let's see, if triangle and circle were to be equal, if those were to be equal, and this is the only possibility, the 3, 3, then obviously square would be the largest. And square criteria A would tell us which one, 4 or 5. So that's a possibility. Let's see, what else could we get from that? Again, going back to the sum, 2, 4 is rather unique. It's the only 6. And if that were the case, 2, 4, we could use criteria card C to force a circle to be 1. So it could be 2, 4, 1 as well. So there are a couple of good possibilities to test out. Let me do one last scan. Yeah, so let me try that. I'm really liking the 2, 4, 1, but we'll see if it works out or not. So 2, 4, 1. All right, we'll test out that criteria E for the sum. It is not. Okay, a little frustrating there, but oh well. So we know then for a fact that the sum has to be greater. Again, we kind of already established that it can't be less than. We already eliminated the equal to 6. So that means that triangle plus circle must be greater than 6. So let me write that down in my notes. And that was for criteria E. So triangle plus square must be greater than 6. Okay. Now, I can't eliminate the 2 because I could always still add it to 5. And I can't eliminate the 4 because I could add it to 3. So really we can't eliminate anything, but at least we now know the sum has to be greater than 6. Okay, so and so yeah, let's test out criteria card D to see which is the largest. So again, we already sort of established that it's impossible for circle to be it, and if you look at my proposal, my square is the largest, so we'll see if that's true or not. So criteria D. Okay, so we got this one. So again, it doesn't guarantee that it's 4 or 5, but at least we now know it is the largest. So if it is the largest, then I don't think triangle could be 5. And I think that's the only thing we can eliminate. I don't think we can eliminate the 4 because it could always be 4, 5. Okay, so let's see. Oh, and so let me add a message or a note in for criteria D that says that square was the largest. Square is the largest digit. Okay, so let's see. Could we, of the following, can we make any other conclusions? Let's take a look at criteria card C. Can we make any other conclusions about them being equal? So again, the only equal would be 3. And then we know what square would be. Let's see. So we still have one more test to conduct in this turn, and that would be either A or C. So if it were greater than, what would that look like? Well, 4 is greater than 3, and of course 3 is greater than 1, and so is 2. So is there anything, because I don't want to waste a test. Let's see. If I were to test A, we would know for sure what square would be, but there'd still be, I think, potentially many solutions. And if I test C, if they were equal, then it'd work out. But if it was greater, then that still would be a lot of possibilities. Okay, so I think I'm just going to test. Yeah, let's go ahead and test C again and see conclusively whether they're equal or is triangle greater. Okay, so it did approve, and it is that it's strictly greater than, not equal. So we know that we can cross this out, the equal part, and so we know triangle is absolutely greater than circle. And but yeah, that really didn't help us out, because there's so many possibilities and we still don't know what square is. Okay, so in the next round I have to pick, well, either keep 4 or 5, and I don't think that's 50-50. I really want, well, we should have enough information here. Okay, so let's do this. We know that the sum has to be greater than 6. So we know it can't be 2, 4. So let's start kind of listing out some possibilities. I'm going to do it down here. So if I start off with 2, it can't be 4, so it'd have to be 2, 5. And then, because we know that triangle is bigger, it would have to be 2, 5, 1. Okay. And then that's the only start for triangle is a 2. Can't go any lower. So if we go to 3, that means it could be 3, 4. And then at that point, it would also have to be a 1, because 3 is greater than 1. It's not equal. All right, so it could be 3, 4, 1, and that's it for 3, 4. But then it could be 3, 5, and again 3, 5, 1. And I believe that should be it for starting with 3. And so if it's then 4, obviously it would have to be a 5 for a square, and then at that point it would be 1 or 4, 5, 3. So let me verify, make sure that I didn't miss out on any possibilities. So the only 2 is 2, 5, and it forces circle to be 1. Then 3, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1. That's the only 3, 4. 3, 5 also would be 1. Okay. And then 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, 3. Okay, so the only thing that will, I believe, differentiate all of these is square. Because I think we've already established B, C, D, and E. So we do have a lot of 5s, and we only have this 1, 4. And I believe that may be the solution, because again, if all of these other ones, like how would I differentiate between all of the ones that have a 5 in the middle for square? They all conform, we're testing A out. So they all end in an odd digit, which is circle. They all have the first digit larger than the last. Yes. Square, the middle digit is the largest in each. Yes. And they all sum up. Yeah, so I think by elimination, I have to cross out all the ones that have a 5 in the middle, because there's no way to distinguish them. So it's what I would call, they're kind of ambiguous, because they meet all the criteria. Again, here we're thinking, well, let's pretend that square is 5. And they would all meet all of the other criteria as well. So there's no way to differentiate them. So I'm going to say that my solution is 3, 4, 1. And and that would mean that I didn't have to make one more proposal, and I didn't have to do 7 tests instead of the 6 that I have. All right, so let's go test 341 in the Turing Machine website. So 341. Okay, so it looks like our work of listing out the digits and talking through it and just experimenting, well, what would differentiate them all, and the fact that really we already established what B, C, D, and E were, and we just had to kind of think through, well, let's pretend it's 4 or 5, and there are a lot of ambiguous solutions. So 341 worked out. Okay, so now let's actually go test how we did versus the machine, the Turing machine. So notice in our first round we did A, B, C, we're all wrong, and then we did C, D, E, and the first 2 in that turn were correct. So let's go back here. Okay, so A, B, and C were all wrong. And in the second round we did C, and we got it right, D, but E was incorrect. And let's see how we did. Okay, so we tied the Turing machine, but that's still a win. So if we can tie versus Turing machine, it's still a win. This was a little bit more challenging, hard for me to pinpoint why, but still, it was very challenging and enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you have any comments, please write them out. If you caught a mistake of mine, please let me know. If you have any suggestions, I'd also love to hear them. And if you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up so that others can find this channel. And if you'd like to subscribe, you'll be notified of when the next video becomes available. All right, until next time, have a great one.